Yeah, man, let's get this going because I don't want. There's so many people listening out there, and you guys. Oh man, I'm glad that you guys are joining me for this podcast. So you guys that have listened, you guys know Braden. He's been on the podcast actually pretty recently. Welcome back, buddy. I couldn't help myself because Braden and I have been chatting a little bit about dark energy and some of the new stuff that's coming out. So stay tuned for that. We're going to talk a lot about the new stuff, but. Man, we're in the mix of hunting season right now. Braden shared some stories with me, and I was like, man, we got to talk about this on the podcast. So, yes, let's get this thing started, actually officially recording so that we can share
that
this.
Sounds perfect.
But, yeah, dude. Yeah, tell me about it, man. Let's talk about this thing.
So I want to get started, actually, by talking about a few years ago.
Yeah,
We mentioned this, but the way my hunting has worked is I grew up hunting with my dad, and that's kind of what got me started. My grandpa owns a little piece of property here in Utah, and so that's where we always go. That's where we do deer camp. We'd hunt on this piece of property, and I mean it's under 1,000 acres, which sounds like a lot until you're hunting it, and then you're done hunting and looking at the entire property in 4 hours, and you're like, okay, now what? I can't go anywhere else. So that's kind of been our story. Is that's what we've been used to, is hunting this little piece of property. We always grew up hunting the rifle season, and we just push through all of the trees and scare all the animals all over, and that was the way we hunted.
That's how we did it too, man. That's exactly how we used to do it too.
That's and it's been fun, and this year has been honestly the first year we've ever done anything different. So I'll get more into that, but I want to jump back to 5 years ago. We were up there. We were doing the exact same hunt. It was my wife's very first hunt.
Yeah.
And it was right after that super bad winter we had in Utah, and we saw 1 2-point the entire hunt. It was the last day, and we were so excited to go chase a 2-point to try and get our first deer. And we tried to go cut it off and have no idea where it went. So we went home with tag soup. I think there were 4 or 5 of us with tags, and it just is what it is. And that's okay. I think it's okay to let the small ones grow up. Maybe they usually turn into bigger ones, as well as the main reason I think we get out hunting is to spend time with family, and we accomplished that goal, which was super fun. That being said, fast forward to the last couple of years, it's been really good.
Yeah, but that's frustrating though. Like I love your positive spin on it. You're such a positive guy though. Yeah, I love that. But like that's frustrating though, you know, when you go all hunt long and you see nothing, and we kind of talked about this before we hit record, but like a lot of people have said that, you know, like, oh, I've been hunting Utah, whatever unit, ABC unit, whatever you want to put out there, and like, oh, I haven't seen any deer, and they're just mismanaging the deer out here, and there's no good deer to be had, you know, like talking about grandpa's deer and whatnot, like they just don't exist anymore. And I'm like, I think they do, but
So here's a really funny story, and I'll actually talk about the 2 deer behind me a little bit, but like we've hunted there for years. That's where my dad hunted. That's where my grandpa hunted. And so my dad still has all of his antlers, and we were in the basement looking at him, and he has one that's a 170 buck with a cheater coming off the side, like roughly that size.
Yeah.
I haven't actually officially taped it. I probably should.
Yeah, you should.
I haven't even put a tape on it. I probably should.
You should.
And I was thinking we're never going to see a deer that big. Like never. Like it just hasn't happened. We haven't seen anything close to that. And I'm like, they just talk about the good old days, and those are the stories you hear. But I think there's opportunities to find big deer now as well. Because like this deer we shot was either 3 or 4 years ago. And it was a very pleasant surprise. We didn't know what was happening. I actually thought it was a little 4-point when I shot it. And when we walked up and it was laying kicker tied up, we were pretty stoked.
Like, yes, it's got cheaters.
Like when I got this deer, my dad, who hasn't hunted in years, was talking, and he's like, if there were deer like that, I might start hunting again.
Right.
Like if there were deer like that every year.
That's what people think though. Is like, oh yeah, like those just don't exist, you know, like kind of what you're saying, like, oh, we're just never gonna see a 170-inch deer anymore. Yeah. Like, well, and I think a lot of people will go out this time of year around Thanksgiving and middle of the rut, and they're like, oh, well, I still don't see what you got on the wall or what I've got over here. You know, those just don't exist anymore. And it's like, man, like they do. You know, again, hunting, you see such a small percentage of one, the country that you're hunting, but even a smaller percentage of the animals that are out there. And so people get really frustrated. And like, I think going back to you, like your wife's hunt, or all of your guys' hunts, but her first hunt, you know, like if that's all she saw was that little 2-point, she probably, you know, there's a lot of people have been like, heck with this. I'm done with this. I'm not doing this anymore for these itty bitty little bucks kind of a thing. But they do exist. It's like Santa Claus. They do exist.
This deer actually was the year after that.
So it was?
We went from not seeing a deer to that deer being on the ground.
Same unit, hunting in the same area?
Same area. Same like 600-acre area.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Isn't that nuts?
And then
he was alive. It's not like he wasn't alive, you know, that year that you didn't see anything. Where the heck was he?
Yeah, no idea. And then this deer, so this was the deer I killed last year.
Yeah, dude, he's such a stud. God,
he's a 170 buck and just super heavy. And this deer actually is almost identical to the one I mentioned of my dad's.
Wow.
And mine has a kicker coming off here and a like tiny bit more mass, and my dad's had a kicker coming off the side, and like
that's so nuts.
Almost identical.
I love that deer, dude. That kicker coming in, like you never see that. Like that is that is so awesome. Look how heavy his thirds are. My gosh.
Super heavy deer. But
Unreal.
Anyway, when I got that deer, that was also a very interesting experience. And I'll turn back around so you can hear my audio. But the days before that, we were hunting on the same property for elk and hadn't seen a deer. Like we'd seen 5 does and that was it. And then we got snow like the day before the hunt started, and everything changed.
Yep.
So even for us hunting this little piece of land, and we can't, like, there's a couple pieces of public in the unit, but they get hit really hard. The majority of the unit we hunt is private. And so like for us to leave the little piece we can hunt is really hard because it's like, where do we go?
Right.
There's not a ton of land. And that being said, I still know people have success on the public land, but it's just a lot harder. And so we usually hunt the same piece. It doesn't matter. We go spend time with family, and we've been very fortunate the last couple of years.
Well, you think about 1,000 acres, man. Like that deer right there could have been in and out of that 1,000 acres 50 times a day. You know, like you were saying, 1,000 acres really isn't that much land. When you're hunting it, you can cover that pretty dang quickly, you know? So for you to be able to get them in that area, to be in that specific area when you shot, I mean, people talk a lot about like hunting and like the luck involved in hunting. And yeah, I 100% believe there are things that we do to prepare. And yes, absolutely. There's things you can make happen, but there's a lot of luck in hunting. For a deer to be in a specific spot at a specific time, it's kind of lucky.
Yes. Well, I mean, these two just wandered on. Like, I didn't know they were there beforehand. The deer I got this year, which is the biggest by far. The deer I got this year is he was one that I knew was on the property, and I watched him and tried to kill him for 2.5 months. And this is where I think the shift in what we were trying to do is like what I wanted to do as a hunter was a little bit different. In the past, including last year, when I shot that deer, we were pushing through the area. Like even as recent as last year, that's what we were doing. Wow. And this year I decided I wanted to hunt more. So I actually went and applied for a dedicated tag here in Utah. And that's what I was hunting with. Yeah. So for people wondering, like, wait, how is this guy hunting for 2.5 months before he killed this deer? I had the dedicated tag, which if you don't know about it, it allows you to hunt all of the seasons here in Utah. You can kill 2 deer every 3 years, the plural, 2 deer every 3 years. And then there's some other requirements, like you need to do service hours and things like that, which I think is a really good opportunity for people to give back and have a good opportunity for sportsmen and hunters to give back to our natural resources.
I've done it a few times. I really actually enjoy doing the service. There was one year that I moved to Colorado and I had the dedicated tags, and I had to pay for the points basically, which kind of, or the pay for the hours, which kind of sucked. But yeah, it is. It's a good program. It's a good program to give back. But I mean, like you said, for hunting, to be able to hunt all the seasons like that, you can find a deer, you can chase that deer until it's your moment. I mean, kind of going back to that luck conversation, is there's got to be that luck, but in a span of 3 months, there's a lot better chance of that luck or skill or 100%. Situation to happen, you know, over that time, which that's kind of fun too. I mean, it's cool that those ones wandered in, but it's also cool that like you pursued this deer. And just for those listening, I've chatted with Braden over text. We haven't really had a chance to talk over the phone, so I'm hearing this story really for the first time. So I want to hear it, man. I want to tell me about like I want to know how it came to be, the couple months leading up to it, how you got this thing on the ground, everything, man. Again, we'll talk about dark energy, I promise, guys, but this is what I want to talk about.
That's fair. Well, I'm gonna actually, I'll show the deer before like we keep teasing this. So this is my deer from this year. We nicknamed him the Dream. I sent a picture to a buddy the first time I saw him, and I love that. He said, "Man, that's just my dream deer," and I was like, "I need a name for him, so that's perfect." And I think that's really what he is. He's essentially a 200-inch typical. We actually taped him at 199 1/4. So I mean, technically he's not quite there, but
I'm calling him 200 inches all day long. I wouldn't even say the 199, but yeah, he's 200 inches.
So I did decide to get him officially taped. So I will have that here in the next, I guess I have to wait till the 9th of December because that's my 2-month drying period.
Oh, gotcha. I'd be interested to see what he comes out at. Dude, I'm sorry, actually, can you hold him up one more time for those watching? He's got like this cool little kicker out the one side, which is crazy that he's only got that one kicker. But man, that makes him look so cool and heavy. Like I'm with you, man. I think the Dream is a perfect name for him because I think most hunters, most of you guys listening to this podcast are going to be like, my dream buck is like just a solid 200-inch 4-point. You hear that all the time, Braden. Like, I want a 200-inch 4-point, dude. You're holding a 200-inch 4-point in your hands right now. Like, you could get something that's non-typical, crazy, whatever, but that's the most solid buck I think you could ever get. Honestly, that thing is so amazing.
I agree, and I love the genetics where we hunt. They curl in the front rather than coming out. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, almost like a whitetail. Almost has that curl like a whitetail coming in there.
A little bit. I'm planning on bringing him to Hunt Expo at the Dark Energy booth if anybody wants to stop by and actually see him.
Sweet.
So
you won't have him shoulder mounted by then, will you?
No,
okay, you'll just have him like that.
Skull cap like that. We'll probably have him on top of a backpack or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
With a solar panel on it.
That would be cool, dude. that would be so awesome. Yeah. So, all right, tell me the story though. I want to know how this came to be because I've been dying for the story.
Starts a couple days before the season. Mm-hmm. I was up there with my wife. I had some cameras out. I don't even remember. This was probably a few weeks before the season. We went up to check cameras. We're about to, so to explain, this property sits on a hill, or like where we're hunting, there's a pretty steep hill. It's like 300, 400 yards long. It's covered in sagebrush. There's 2 patches of trees that run vertical or like crossways. So hill running this way, trees are running up the hill a little bit. And then there's 2 ponds in the bottom.
Oh, wow.
So 2 little ponds, a big grass meadow out here that is actually off the property, and then this hill that these deer are sitting on. And I took one of my buddies up there, and we went over, and he's like, I never would have guessed deer would have been here.
Really? It sounds like a deer haven with a pond and the trees and the meadow.
I was like, this is what I know, but there's deer here. So anyway, that just to give you a perspective on what it is, my wife and I went over. We were kind of above this first group of trees, and we're about to go check some cameras just because I was like, I don't even know if there's anything up here. I got to figure something else out if there's no deer. And before we dropped in, I was like, just let me look and see if I can find anything. And I look up and I glass and I see this 2-point. And all we had was 1 pair of binoculars. So I hand them to her and I'm like, yeah, he's right over there. And she looks and she goes, there's no way that's a 2-point. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's got to be a 2-point. So I sit down and I watch this 2-point for 15 minutes, trying to put more points on him, and never did. He never grew any more points. And then, I mean, after 15 minutes of waiting, I look up and there's this deer body shining about 60 yards to the right, and it was a different, like a 4-point. It wasn't this deer, but it was a 4-point. And I was like, we can't go down there anymore.
So she was looking at the 4-point the entire time while you're looking at the 2-point. That's awesome.
So we're sitting there and I was like, well, let's just wait and see what happens. And then all of a sudden, like, it was getting close to sunset and there were deer everywhere. Wow. Like this first night, and I had nothing to get footage of them or anything, but I'm just looking around and I'm like, there are deer everywhere. Like, I don't know what's happening. There are decent bucks, like 4 or 5 decent bucks that I can count. And I'm like, we have to come back up. So I think we went back up the next day. And that's when I got the first footage of the deer. And I'll send some over, but I have some footage of this deer next to 2 other deer, both of which ended up getting killed by either us or people on property near us. But he dwarfs them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Both of these deer on a regular year, I would have been so happy to chase and hunt, even though they're not what's behind me. But like, still, I would have been so happy, and he just dwarfs them. And so, like, I kept looking at these other deer and right back to the same deer. Yeah. And that's just like to explain how magnificent this was. I like just right back to him every single time. Oh, man. So,
I love those deer that just like catch your attention as soon as you see him. Like you can't think of anything else, man. It's just like he's who I'm going after, and that's all that's all I'm doing.
Yep. And it as we got close to the season, I wasn't sleeping great because I was so excited. I also, I'm gonna be real on this story. This was my first time ever archery hunting.
Oh,
like,
it was?
I'd gone and shot tack the past couple of years, so I'd never archery hunted. I was super stoked for it. I got a new bow. I was super excited, and this is where I want to bring in some of the realism. Like, very beginner archery hunter, only ever hunted rifle before. The day before I got my bow finally tuned, because it took forever to ship, like the week before the season started. So I'd been shooting with a different bow, and then I got this one and put in a ton of time to get it ready for the season. Wow. It gets better. Just wait for the story. Day before the season starts, I'm planning to go up and watch the deer just to make sure they're still there, because talking to my dad, he's like, you're never going to see deer during the archery hunt. And I'm like, okay. So I'm getting ready. I'm planning on going up to check that night, just doing one last check, making sure my broadheads are flying straight. And I draw my bow back, like my last couple of shots, I draw my bow back. Something hits and my arrow falls off my bow with a broadhead on and starts falling toward my feet. And I jump back and bump my release and dry fire my bow.
No. Did it just explode?
The bow didn't explode, but it bent my cams. And so there's no way to shoot it anymore. No. And this is the day before the season starts.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh.
I sat on my porch and stared at just like put my hand in my head, like head in my hands, and sat there for 15 minutes because I was so excited to go chase this deer.
Oh, I'd have cried. I'd have been sitting there crying, trying to figure out how I can get that bow fixed, put new cams on it. Oh,
yeah. Yeah. And like all the bow shops are closed.
Oh,
it's late at night.
And they're going to
day before the season starts. And I'm like, there's no way. So I call my brother and I'm like, hey, like what can we do? And his draw length is a little bit different than mine, but not like half an inch shorter, which again is not recommended. But I called him and he had a different bow, and we went and set up that bow that night so I could go shoot it the next day, which is terrible recommendation. Do not recommend.
But in a pinch, man, you got to do what you. I was actually gonna say before you told that story, I was gonna say, man, you should have called me. I would have brought you one of my bows, and you could just taken it because that's
just terrible. Like heartbreak the night before. I was putting in so much time to get ready for this hunt.
Oh yeah.
that happened. And I was just like devastated. And I think there is some of that in hunting. And luckily, like
Yeah.
one of the awesome things about the community or even just families, there are people that will help you. Like when I was feeling super down, I called my brother and we came up with a plan, and I
Yeah.
actually went hunting the next morning.
Mhm.
I got to go. Well, I kind of got to go. I went opening morning, and the bow shop was only, or one of the bow shops that I was going to take it to was only open for a few hours, and I knew they had cams to replace it.
Mhm.
So I went to this shop. So I went up in the morning, glassed the deer, watched him, bedded him, and then left to go drop my bow off at the bow shop because I was going to be out of town the next week and I wanted my bow fixed.
Yeah. I'd have made my brother take it. I'm like, hey, I got this deer bedded. I'm gonna go try and kill him with your bow. Go get my bow and take it to the bow shop.
I should have. But I also, going into it, I didn't know how big the deer was.
Yeah.
I thought, like, I'm very new to scoring. The first deer I ever scored was this one when I shot him last year.
Yeah.
And so
You just
I
knew he was
sent pictures
big.
to a couple people, and they're like, yeah, he's like a 180 buck. He'll be even bigger next year. And I was like, okay, great. Like, I'm perfectly happy with that. And most of them prefaced by saying, I usually estimate conservatively because I don't want to overguess this.
Yeah, yeah. I think we all do. I'm the same way. If I see a deer, I'm always going to be conservative and be like, oh yeah, it's a 170, 180 buck, probably 200 inch buck. But yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah. So I mean that's fine. And I just I didn't know any better. I'm brand new at this. So anyway, I go back up that night, and I knew he was there. There were also, and I should say this, there were 4 or 5 other deer with a frame just as big as this one. Their forks were terrible. Like, I mean, I'm talking like this on one of
little
them.
crabby things.
But like big frame deer that any other year I would have shot. And in fact, I tried to shoot at one of them with my bow that first night.
Did you?
I got excited. I didn't know where the big deer was. I was kind of sitting in the area I usually came through, and he fed over into that grass meadow. And I'm sitting there in this bush, and a monsoon rolls through and starts thunder and lightning and super cold rain.
Man.
And I'm just sitting under this bush, freezing to death, and watched essentially 3 bucks come out to my right. Lightning hit once, and they ran. And I stopped the 4-point that, again, had a frame just as big as this guy at like 25 yards in front of me. But all my pins were set further out. So I was set at like 50, 60 or something like that. And so I just kind of guessed and shot right over his back.
So you let one fly on him. You really did try to kill him.
I drew back and let one fly and completely missed.
I'm so glad you missed.
You and me both.
Wow, that's crazy. Man, that would have been nuts. I mean, it's still a good deer though, right? And that's the thing. Like well, and like you said, you didn't know the score of this one that you ended up shooting, but still, like, and you couldn't have been disappointed. If this is your first year archery hunting, you shoot a deer like that, your first year archery hunting, dude, you would have been so stoked about it.
I'd have been over the moon.
Oh yeah.
So
I would have been over the moon.
Like, anyway, I missed that day, and then it was just a whole lot of, and I'm going to summarize this part. We were up there almost every night, and I was trying to sneak down to where this deer was going to be, and I guessed wrong every time.
Sounds like hunting.
He'd go 400 yards to my left, or 300 yards to my left, 300 yards to my right, and I just never see him. He was hanging out in this little pocket, like hanging out just to the side of the one group of trees or just above that other group of trees, and that's where he was.
Wow.
The entire time I was hunting him, there's not a great way for me to glass everything at once, but like he was in one of those areas. I could get close to guessing where, I mean, generally knew exactly where he was going to be. And I mean, seeing him almost every night and just guessing wrong. Like every single time. It's
being in the right place at the right time. That's all. I mean, again, kind of going back to that luck piece of it. It is. You just got to be in the right place at the right time, and more often than not, you're not in the right place at the right time.
I was not once. In fact, here's a really funny story of how badly I was. One night we went up, and the whole purpose was just to had my bow in the truck, whatever. I wasn't planning on making a stock. I was like, I just want to know where he's coming through. Because, I mean, he was generally consistent coming through this area. I was like, I got to know where he's coming through so I can go sit there tomorrow. Yeah. So I left my bow in the truck because it's not super far away, but I was like, I'm not going to make a stalk. My entire purpose is to sit here and just watch where he's going to go. We sat there for about 30 minutes and we're seeing other deer, but not him. And I looked to my left and he's sitting 140 or like 150 yards to my left in the scrub oak, as high as we are on this hill.
Wow.
But my bow's in the truck.
Gosh, oh my gosh.
Luckily, the truck wasn't too far away, and I sprinted
still.
over there to get it. But I felt really stupid.
We've all done it. I've done that so many times where I'm like, oh, there's not going to be anything in here. Let's just get out. I'll walk over here on this little ridge and we'll scout, and I'll get up there and there's a deer or an elk right down there below me. I'm like, gosh dang it, should have brought it. And then you try to go get it and come back, they're gone. Man, I've done that countless times.
So he actually didn't go too far. He kind of just tucked back into the scrub oak. I left my wife to kind of watch where he went, and she's like, you went right down there. And then I tried to sneak down and ended up, there was a 2-point. A 2-point saw me and then kind of like moved behind a bush while I just sat there and didn't move.
Yeah.
And I keep walking down, and this made my heart skip a beat. I looked to my right, and 40 yards away, I just see antlers sticking out of a bush.
Oh, geez.
And I'm sitting there. I like pull up my binos because I can't tell what deer it is. All I can tell is that there's antlers sticking out of the bush. And it happened to be the deer I missed the first day.
Oh, my gosh.
He's bedded right there. But I mean, his front forks, we called him Mr. Krabs because his front forks were seriously like this.
Yeah.
There were a couple times we saw him and we thought he was a 3-point because his front forks were so bad.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like, that's not the deer I'm after. I'm after this other one that I know is in here. And then the 2-point steps out and pegs me and takes off running. And I see the other deer probably 60 yards away jump up and just head off straight down into the bottom.
Oh,
like,
man.
and then I'm sitting there debating whether I should draw on the deer to my right.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he turned and was gone so fast too that just no opportunity.
Man,
but
that's again, that's archery hunting though. Like it's so fun, but it's so frustrating at the same time. You know, like I love experiences like that where you're in their kitchen, man. Like you're in their business.
Yep.
You can see them, you can smell them, you can all the things, and then it blows out, and you don't even get to send an arrow. Like but that's archery hunting. It's amazing.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, and I loved it this year. Even though I was unsuccessful on the archery, I loved every second of it.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
So the fast forward, bucks start stripping their velvet. I go up one evening and watch some deer go from the bottom of that second group of trees over to the pond that's to the north of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see the big buck that night, so I was kind of feeling frustrated. I brought a buddy up the next day, Drake. His Instagram's like Out West Hunters.
Oh, yeah.
And this ends up being some amazing photography because we saw the deer and he was right where this deer was I'd seen the day before. And it's amazing how they all follow similar patterns. Mm-hmm. So you can learn from one deer what another deer is going to do. So as soon as we saw where he was, and the fact that he came out like 2 hours earlier than usual was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we saw where he was, I went, I know exactly where he's going. And we took off to beat him to the pond.
Oh, that's where he was headed. He was going to get some water.
Yeah, he was going to get some water. That's
Gotcha.
Exactly what it was. And he didn't do that. This was the only night I saw him go to the pond. So that's why I wasn't sitting there the majority of the time.
Gotcha.
But we snuck down. We get close to the pond. We're walking. I mean, we are relatively close to the pond and looking for these deer. We're kind of walking, trying to be quiet. And Drake goes, hold up. And he runs out of the bottom of the pond and stands on top of this dirt mound on the other side of the pond. Mm-hmm. And then 3 other bucks walk out and a doe and a fawn. And I mean, he's at 77 yards, which is a little far for me to shoot, but we can't get any closer with these other deer.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there having this debate in my mind, like, do I try and shoot it? I've shot that far at tack. I know I can shoot that far. It's just a matter of if everything goes perfect. And ultimately, I decided that it would be better not to shoot and either scare the deer off or, even worse, injure the deer.
Yeah.
So I lay my bow down out of reach, so I'm not tempted anymore. And Drake ends up getting a bunch of pictures of him.
Sweet.
In the velvet, sitting on top of this hill. And just absolutely incredible photos.
Oh, so man, sometimes that's even just as cool as shooting them when you can get them with the camera and get those kind of pictures of them. Oh, especially when you actually get to harvest them. I know we'll get to that, but harvest them later and then have those pictures as a memory. Like, oh man, you can't put a price tag on that.
It was wild. So anyway, super great. We'll fast forward a little bit later in the archery season. He shed his velvet, and I may have seen him once the rest of archery season after he shed, and it was usually only for like 10 seconds, just walking through thick stuff. Like his behavior changed enough that he changed where he was sitting and what he was doing, and so like it was a whole new game trying to find him again. Was he still
bachelored up at that point when he shed his velvet? Or did
he's
he
all
start
himself?
Okay, and so usually that's what they'll do is once they start shedding their velvet, those bigger ones will start to single themselves off and get away from the crew.
I saw him with another deer once. I saw him with another deer during the muzzleloader. The same one I missed during the archery.
Oh, really? That same big one, huh?
Mr. Krabs. But it was one time
wow.
that I saw him during that. But anyway, the last day of archery, I actually let another arrow fly.
Oh, you did?
Again, like very similar situation. I had my pin set far. I was going after this buck we called Lucky 7. We called him Lucky 7 because I was hunting Dream most of the time, and any other year we called him Lucky 7 because he was a 3x4, and then he was lucky that there was a bigger deer, and so I wasn't chasing him a lot of the time because he was in a very killable location every single day.
Oh wow! That'd be hard not to go and kill though. I mean, it's a good thing you saw your dream buck because oh man, he'd have been toast.
Well, after every 2 or 3 days, like after 3 or 4 days, I was finally like, screw it, he's gone. Like he's gonna go on a different deer.
Yeah.
And so anyway, this last day was one of those where I hadn't seen him for a few days, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to kill something with my bow. And so I went down to try and kill this other deer, and he came out 200 yards to the left of where I thought he was going to that night, which was kind of frustrating. And it's getting dark and I'm all by myself. And so I'm like, I'm just going to try and put a stock on him. It's the last day of archery. Like if I kill this deer, great. If I don't kill this deer, whatever.
Right.
I'm walking over there and Mr. Krabs walks out of the trees. Like I'm sneaking and I hear a crunch to my right and I look up and I think we both had like a, oh crap moment. Cause it was like deer standing 25 yards from me, 20 yards from me, and me standing in the wide open with my bow staring at this deer. And they look really big when they're that close.
Oh man, they look huge when they're that close to you. Another reason why I love archery hunting, because they are right next to you and you're like, every deer you shoot is huge.
Yeah. And so I drew back and I couldn't get settled and I couldn't get everything lined up right. And I just like sent an arrow and prayed, and again right over his back.
Oh man. Which hindsight, that's great. I'm glad you missed, but I'll bet you, I mean, that's emotional, like that is so frustrating at the time. Like, oh, again.
Well, I as weird as this was, because I'd been hunting this deer, I wasn't upset.
Yeah.
I wasn't upset that I'd missed. I was more nervous because I didn't find my arrow right away. More nervous that I'd injured a deer.
Yeah.
And so I didn't see any blood. It was also dark. So like I did my best to look that night. And then we went back the next day just to check.
Yeah.
And nothing. So like I knew we were good. I was glad to keep hunting. And again, I saw this deer later in the hunt. I saw him during the muzzleloader. So I was like, we're good.
Well.
Like,
yeah.
He's still alive and good. I didn't want to injure a deer more than anything.
Yeah.
Which was
wow. So I mean, and for those listening, the archery hunt here in Utah is about a month long. Like, so out of that month, how many days do you think you hunted that deer?
The Dream?
Yeah.
Probably 20, 25. Like I was up there almost every night. My poor wife, I was dragging her with me.
Yeah.
And there were nights she's just like, I don't want to go tonight. I'm like, okay, I'm going. See ya.
You got to though, for a deer like that. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to commit to it and just go.
It was probably closer to 20 because I had a work trip that I had to go to for like 4 or 5 days right at the beginning, which was absolutely killer.
Yeah.
Because I sat at this trade show watching videos I had of the deer and just daydreaming of hunting it.
Wishing that you were in the mountains hunting him.
Yeah. And it was almost every night I was up there just trying to get an opportunity and getting outsmarted every single time.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes. But that's again the beauty of the dedicated tag is that like you're not as frustrated that last day of the archery hunt. Like normally, if it's just an archery tag, you come to that last day and you're like, I gotta send it. I gotta do everything I can to get that buck, and then it gets dark and you're like, crap! I just spent an entire month trying to kill a deer and I didn't kill him. But at least with the dedicated, you're like, oh, game on. Muzzleloader's coming up. Rifle's coming up. Let's go.
Exactly. It also, I think, helped me not make a poor decision, because I think if I would have only had archery to hunt that deer and I would have gotten 77 yards during archery, I probably would have drawn back and shot.
Yeah.
And like I knew I had a timeline because all of my cousins were going to come up and hunt during the late rifle. And there's also a chance that the deer could just move away.
Right.
There's a very real chance of that. We happened to border a CWMU, and so there was a chance that one of those hunters could have picked him out. I didn't think they knew that he was there, because I never even saw another CWMU guy close to that. It's also, just a side note, it's kind of discouraging when you're hearing rifle fire from the property next door when you're archery hunting.
that is discouraging.
but that's okay.
But he could have easily, just like those ones, could have wandered out of that property and gone over into that CWMU and been hosed.
He moved onto their property every night. He fed onto their property every night, and he spent the days on the property we were hunting.
You're lucky that they didn't know he was there. He would have been done.
Yep. Well, he also never left our property until after dark.
Oh, okay.
I'd see him and he'd go sit on the fence line.
Yeah.
So I wasn't super worried about it, but anyway.
I'd have been worried. I'd been a mess.
It just was what it was.
Yeah.
There were a couple of scary calls where like cows would get in and my grandpa would be like, oh yeah, we went and got all the cows out of there. And I was like, he told me the neighbors had some people archery hunting, and he's like, yeah, they wounded a deer and it ran down, and they went and got it. And I was like, what deer was it? How long ago was it? And I'd seen the deer. He's like, oh, it was like a week ago. And I'm like, okay, I'd seen him since then.
Yeah.
But I was worried for a second. So that was really fun. But I'll quit dragging the story.
No, this is great, dude. I'm loving this. And I know everybody listening, like this is why we do what we do, man. I love these stories.
So fun. So we get ready for muzzleloader. I'm pretty happy about the muzzleloader because I can extend my range a little bit. And I'd been close enough during archery to get in with a couple times with the muzzleloader.
Oh yeah.
I never drew my bow on him during the archery. So like I never got close enough for that. Or had a good enough opportunity. There were a couple times I was close enough technically.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get to muzzleloader. I'm pretty stoked about it. I bring up this same friend Drake. I don't know what it is, but every time I brought him, this deer did something weird. First time he's in a different area and came out 2 hours early. This next time it's morning and they're feeding like 2 hours after sunrise.
Wow.
Okay, maybe not that late, but it was like sunrise, past official sunrise, and him and this other deer just feeding over the top straight toward us. And so I went to make a play because we're like 600 yards away. And I sneak down this little canyon and pop up over this ridge, and I range the deer that's with him at 120 yards.
Wow.
And so I'm like freaking out, but it's so thick where they're at. Just sarvice berries is what's there. Sarvice berries and sagebrush. And I mean, these bushes are taller than I am.
Yeah.
So like I kind of just got to wait for him to get into a spot where I can see. So I sit down, and because I knew, and like his buddy was at 120 yards. So like he's got to be somewhere. I haven't seen him yet. He's got to be somewhere. And I saw him, but he was walking straight away from me.
Oh no.
I don't know if the wind had swirled or the cowboys were up picking up their cows on the other half of the property, but like he turned and he was walking straight away from me and never turned at all.
Wow. Was he running or was he just kind of
Nope,
walking?
just walking.
Okay. It probably was
Just
those
walking.
Cowboys, and I would bet, like, if he would have seen you that close, 100 yards, I think he would have been like getting out of there, in a bit of a hurry. But
He was just walking, not like I'd
yeah,
spooked him or anything, but just turned, and I mean literally straight away from me. I was ready to shoot if he'd turn and look back,
yeah.
but he never did. He just walked directly away from me.
You didn't want
all
to
I
take.
could see was his butt.
You didn't want to take that Texas heart shot, man. Just shoot it right up the. That's a tough shot.
It is a tough shot, and I just again didn't want to injure this deer, and I was like, it's day 1 or day 2 of the muzzleloader, so I'm gonna have another opportunity.
Yeah, you're gonna see him again.
Yeah, just walked straight away from me. He looks really big at 100 yards, by the way.
Especially when they're walking away and that rack is just like, moseying is like, they're so big.
So I had to be really patient, and then I went 3 days without seeing him again, and finally just like picked a different spot to sit. And I had him at, I think it was like 220 the last day of the muzzleloader, which is a little far for me.
Poke, but tempting though. That's tempting, man. A year ago that'd have been nothing for a muzzleloader in Utah when you could put a high-powered scope on it, but now it's a little bit different.
Right. It was kind of a downhill shot, and there was another deer close to him, so it kind of would have been. I don't know. I didn't feel good about it, and the other deer was looking straight at me and had been for 20 minutes, and so I was like, if I move, he's gonna blow out. And so anyway, I didn't take that shot and just watched him go, and like. So I've had so many of these opportunities where I'm getting close, and every time I'll see other deer, and I won't even get excited for deer that on a usual year would like get me super excited. I'll be like, oh, that's that deer. Like he is what he is. Not even getting out of my seat. And then when I see this, like my whole body goes like numb, my mouth turns to chalk, my heart beats out of my chest. And it's just when I see him, not even like when I'm close enough to get an opportunity, just when I see him, I get so excited.
Dude, most people, I mean, or not most people, a lot of people with those scenarios, like the 70-yard archery shot, the 200-yard muzzleloader shot, there's a lot of people that are sending those bullets or arrows downrange. So kudos to you, man. Kudos for having that patience, because a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah, I think another part of it is a lot of people that may take those shots practice a lot more than I had. And like I got my bow maybe a week before the season, and I just wanted to set my limits because the last thing again I wanted to do was injure a deer.
Yeah,
like that is my nightmare scenario. I hate even with a rifle when you have to go up and put them down. Like it's one of the worst things, and I hate it. In fact, I'll get to that on my shot with my deer, but like I did not, and I didn't make the best first shot. It was okay. But we'll get there.
We'll get there. Was that the only time you saw him on the muzzleloader hunt? Was that one where he's walking away?
I saw him twice. I saw him the time where he was walking away, and then the last day when he was at like 200.
Okay.
So I saw him twice in 7 days, and I was up, or 5 days or whatever, and I was up there every day.
Wow. That's hard not to send that shot, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I would have sent it.
I wasn't super confident in my muzzleloader ability. I shot a couple times to make sure my muzzleloader was like close on, but
do you have
muzzleloaders just aren't exact most of the time.
They're not. Do you have a red dot, or do you actually have a 1 power scope on it?
I have a red dot.
Yeah, that would be tough. That would be really.
It's an etched reticle red dot, so it's like there. But the issue is when you pull up at 200 yards, your bead covers the entire body of the deer. So like.
They almost look smaller when you pull up that 1 power scope. Like when you pull it, like if you're looking like through your just normal bare eyes, and you pull up your scope, it's almost like they're smaller. And you're right, it's covering the whole deer. But it's so hard not to pull that trigger.
So I decided not to, but
again, having the dedicated tag helps with, because you're like, okay, I've got more chances coming up.
Yep. I'm going to have a rifle.
Yeah.
Give me a rifle
Yeah.
in 2 weeks or a week and we'll be happy.
Could have killed him a dozen times with a rifle so far.
Yeah, exactly. I could have killed him almost every time I saw it.
Yeah. Are you more confident with the rifle than you are the muzzleloader and the bow?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Like that being said, I'm not a long range shooter.
Yeah.
So when I get to the rifle, I'll explain how far I was when I saw him and then what I tried to do. And
Yeah.
it didn't work. And then what I did instead. But I do think it's time to pause, because I did pause from my deer hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate enough to draw a limited entry Wasatch elk tag from the Hunt Expo.
Still can't believe you got one. I can't believe you got the tag, and I'll let you tell the story. But
yeah. So I spent zero time scouting for my elk hunt because I was hunting a deer. Some people might call me crazy for that, but
depends on what unit. You know, if you had a beaver elk tag, yeah, I'd call you absolutely crazy for not focusing on the elk. But the Wasatch, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a nice tag, but you know, yeah.
I did end up going up like 2 days before my hunt started just to try and find a couple spots, and I talked to a lot of people. Yeah. So I fortunately had, because it is a limited entry, people were not as hold your pins close to your chest,
right?
And so they were willing to share. And some people gave me some pins. I went and checked out a couple locations. Some of them were the steepest, nastiest, I'm not hunting here stuff that I've ever seen. I was like, I'll come into here. I hear 8 bulls bugling in the bottom of here, but I don't want to hike down in or try and find one, because I mean, at that point you'd had to be on top of them to even get a shot because of how thick these trees were.
Yeah.
So I decided not to go there. I had another spot that I saw, and we saw a bull there, just one, but it was forever away, and I wasn't in love with it. And then I went with a buddy, and he had some pins from a guy who'd been up there hunting spikes and cows for a month and a half. And he's like, this is where I would be. So we're planning on going there. Mm-hmm. And we drive there opening morning, and we were a little late because we thought we could get there in a shorter amount of time. And then we woke up and it was foggy. So we could only see like 20 yards in front of us. And so we had to drive a lot slower than we were expecting. And by the time we got there, there were 4 side-by-sides parked in this area already. Gosh. And I was like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
Like, I understand they might be spike hunters, because my hunt was during the spike hunt, but I don't want to do this. So we just kept driving. And we're kind of winding around these roads, seeing, I mean, people everywhere, as is with Oakland.
Who was with you?
I'm with a buddy. His name's Campbell. He used to work at Badlands.
Okay. Gotcha.
Anyway, I'm with Campbell. It's just the two of us. We keep driving, and we stop at this spot. We were kind of headed to a glassing point, and I was like, let's just stop here. And Campbell goes, I see some elk. And I mean, I pull up my binos, and they're just these dots moving along this hillside. And I'm like, I don't know how you saw those. And then he pulls out his spotter. And I mean, they're still little dots.
Yeah.
But when one moves his head, you can see antlers. And I'm like, hey, maybe we should go check that out.
There's a bull. Yeah.
So we kind of move over, get a little closer. Now we're not quite 10 miles away, or however. I don't really know how far away we were, but it was a long way.
They're not just little dots anymore. They're actually elk. You can see that they're elk now.
Yeah, they're elk. We have a video of him. We actually we pull up to the spot we wanted to glass from, and there was a side-by-side park there. But I'm like, we're just glassing. We're not staying here. So I'm just going to run out. If they see something, like, I'm not afraid to tell people, hey, there's some elk over here. We're just checking them out, because I have a big bull tag, and hopefully they had a spike tag. So we get out of the side-by-side, we're over watching, and the guys were parked in the same spot, but they were on the right side of this ridge, and we were glassing off the left to this way. So I was like, perfect. They are looking in completely different direction.
Yeah.
We glass these elk. We figure out the one, and we're like, he's decent. It's opening day. I told myself I wasn't going to be super picky. I had a deer I wanted to go hunt in 2 or 3 days, and I was going to take off from my elk hunt to go hunt this deer on the early rifle. So we go over to where the closest place to where this elk was, and I would have expected us to have to hike quite a ways and get where these elk were. We didn't.
Really?
We hiked 300 yards up a hill, and the elk were just on the they were 700 yards on the opposite ridge, like 700 yards, and I mean we're 300 or 400 yards off the road.
Wow.
And I thought for sure once we figured out how close the road was, I was like, somebody else is going to be there.
Right.
Nope, not a person.
No one had seen him at all. Like they weren't even. Well, but you're right. A lot of people are probably spike hunting. If there wasn't a spike in that group, then no one would even care.
Well,
about
there
it.
Wasn't, but nobody knew that. Everybody we talked to was like, "Whoa, you got that bull? Like, where was the herd?" And we tell them, and they're like, "Were there spikes in there?" And I was like, "No."
That's wild though that no one even saw that herd. Like that's crazy.
Right. So some guys had seen them the night before, and so like one group knew that there wasn't a spike in there, but everybody else was like, "Wait, you saw elk?"
Wow, that's crazy.
Anyway, sometimes it all depends on angles, and that's what it was here. And so I didn't want to shoot 700 yards with my rifle. I'm more of like the 300 to 400 yard range.
What rifle are you shooting? Just curious. What are you shooting?
I have a Fierce 300 Win Mag, so my rifle is definitely capable.
Oh, it can do it. Yeah.
I'm just not capable of it.
Yeah, that's a nice rifle.
Yeah, it's a very nice rifle.
Yeah.
So I snuck up a little bit, and I'm not afraid to admit that I didn't make my shot was perfect left and right. We sat on the elk for 4 hours. We could see the cows moving in the trees, didn't see the bull at all. Finally, all the cows move out, and they moved from, I was set up at 300 on where they were, and they moved way further to the left. So my shot, it was like at 415. And anyway, I ended up shooting, and I think I didn't calculate I put a suppressor on, and I didn't calculate enough for the drop addition with the suppressor. I'd practiced with it before.
Yeah.
But as you get shooting out further and further, it's going to drop even further. Right. And so I was perfect left to right, and my shot went essentially right to the bottom of his chest and went across and hit the opposite side leg.
Oh, wow.
Wow. When I say it was a lucky shot, it would not have been a kill shot at all.
So it didn't hit his chest at all. It went under his chest.
It grazed the bottom of his chest. There was a line, a cut. That was it.
Wow. And then blew his other leg out.
Yeah. And so unfortunately I wounded him and had to go chase him along the hillside while he's hobbling along on 3 legs to finish him off. And we got it done, but I didn't like that.
I say it's not the way that you want to get it done, but Braden, you got it done. And sometimes again, that's hunting. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do to get it done. But
and I did when I shot the first time. I would like to say I was very steady. I felt very good in my shot. It just dropped more than I thought it would.
And that happens, especially that 400 yards plus. It's going to do that. So
anyway, I got over to him, finished him off. We were a little less than a mile from the road, and it was steep downhill for 300-400 yards, and then it was flat, and then a short hill, and then downhill. So
oh my god,
it was a super easy pack out. Campbell called a couple guys. They came over, and they'd been hunting forever. And anyway, they did thank you to them. They did the majority of the work on my elk, and I kind of feel really bad about it. They had this thing quartered out and ready to pack in an hour.
Nice.
And then my brother and another buddy came, so we had 6 dudes for a pack out.
Wow.
And that was less than a mile. It was so great. Dang. And I'm so thankful to everyone that helped, and just there.
Well, you said it earlier about this hunting community, whether it's your family or not. I mean, that's what we do, honestly. If anybody, you could have texted me. If you would have texted me and said, "Hey, I got a bull down and need help hauling it out," I'm making that drive. That's just it's what we do. That's who we are.
Which is awesome. And I'm super grateful. Luckily, it was a super easy one.
Yeah.
My buddy Campbell had a spike tag, and I was super grateful when he said he didn't want to stay a couple more days, because It was a cold, rainy day that opening day.
I think I know. I think I know the day because I had a spike tag, and so I was hunting spikes down here, and that was a terrible day.
We were soaked to the bone and so wet and bloody and dirty and like. Anyway, we ended up going back up to where our camp was, and there were 4 inches of snow on the ground.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Well, he's a good bull too. You sent me pictures of it. I'll put it up here so people that are watching YouTube, you guys can see it. Did you score him out? He was nice.
I haven't scored him yet. He's been at the taxidermist getting Euroed since I shot him essentially. So
gosh. Yeah, I'd be curious. He's a great bull, man. I mean, especially for that unit. Like, you must be living right. First day, hit him like you did, be able to have an easy pack out. Like, man, you gotta be living right.
I don't know. I'm very fortunate that we even saw him. So
that's crazy. So cool.
I knew when I saw him, I couldn't pass him. In fact, the guys that had been up there were like, if I had this tag, I don't think I'd be able to pass him.
No.
And I mean, they spent forever up on the Wasatch units.
Oh yeah. No, you don't pass that bull. No way. It's way too good of a bull to pass. No, that's
yep.
You're just doing a Euro on it. You're not going to do a shoulder mount on that.
No, our house kind of has low ceilings, and so I wouldn't even know where to put it. Shoulder mounted elk. My wife also doesn't love shoulder mounts. So even with my deer, I had to like beg and plead.
Oh. Yeah, you don't even give her a choice on that one. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't shoulder mount those 2 behind you, but yeah, that your buck this year, yeah, you got to shoulder mount that guy.
I've heard that so many times, and I was like, I'm probably never going to kill a deer this pretty or big ever again. So I'm like, I have to. And then to make it even better, my brother had a half-off shoulder mount certificate.
Oh,
and
sweet!
So, like, it was kind of just a no-brainer. He's like, I'm never gonna shoot anything big enough to use it. So he gave it to me.
That's awesome. Even better, yeah. Even if you had to pay for the whole thing on that, like, that's such a cool buck. And the story, the story too, like this, to be able to have that on your wall, tell people that story, and they, like, again, I love a Euro mount. I've got lots of Euro mounts around here. But there's something about the shoulder mounts that are just, they're special, man. They're beautiful. It's art to me.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then having so many videos of him helped a lot. Like, because I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I want. I want him in this pose because I saw him in this pose.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Exactly.
Which is cool, and hopefully that'll help the taxidermist too. But
well, I'm glad that you could take a break from your deer hunting to go on a limited entry elk hunt in Utah. That I'm still waiting to get. I've got 25 points. I'm still waiting to get my limited entry tag. So I'm glad that you could take a break and go do that.
Take a break. Take a break. I mean, the deer unit as well, which is really funny, is it's one of those that because there's so much private property, you can draw almost every year.
Yeah. Well, because guys like me, there's, like you said, there's only a few pieces of public, and it's so oversaturated with people that guys kill, but it's not the great.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it's kind of funny that it is one of those units that I'm like, hey, I'm going to put a pause on my limited entry to go do this.
To go hunt a
unit. We got my elk out. I took the whole week off work to hunt elk, and if anybody from my work listens to this, I didn't tell anybody from my work that I killed it until later that week because I told them I'd be back in the office if I got an elk. And, anyway, long story short, I didn't tell them until like Friday or
I wouldn't
Saturday.
Either. You never tell when you actually killed the animal. That way people are like, they expect you back at work if you kill the animal, and people expect you back at home. Yeah, no, I'm still hunting.
So I went with my cousin the next couple of days. He had an elk tag, and we got him close a couple times. One really funny story. We saw this bull that he was going to go shoot, like on his way with my brother to go shoot. They left me on the hill just to tell him if anything like changed while they were driving there. And I'm sitting there watching it through the spotter, and this is not my hunt. So I'm kind of like, whatever. Yeah. I'm just here to hang out. I'm watching the elk through the spotter, and I hear a shot, and I watched the elk kind of like hunch like it had been hit. And I was like, what just happened? So I call my brother. I'm like, are you guys over there yet? And he's like, no, we're getting close though. And I was like,
Oh no.
oh, you might as well turn around. Somebody else just
No.
shot it.
Oh, that's terrible.
So my cousin ended up getting a bull a couple
Oh, he
days
did.
later, but it was just a really funny. I thought it was kind of a funny story. They were a
Oh,
little discouraged, but I mean, part of the story is a couple days before he had an opportunity at a bull and just didn't pull up his gun and shoot it like a
really?
decent bull. And so we were making fun of him for that. And then
Uh-huh.
this happens. And long
Oh,
story short, it was one of the funniest hunts I've ever been on. And we had a great time. And he got a bull, like, I think it was the day before I shot my deer.
oh wow. So way
I
into the
was,
hunt then.
yeah, I wasn't there. So the deer hunt started on like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I went up to hunt deer instead of helping him with his elk, and that's when he got his elk.
Oh wow.
And I went up with my buddy Campbell again because he'd
Uh-huh.
taken a week off to go elk hunting too.
Yeah.
We got up there and saw absolutely nothing.
Really?
we saw well, not nothing. We saw the 3x4 and a couple other small bucks, and like, just to put it into perspective, and I should have added this on my archery hunt, we were seeing 25 to 27 bucks a night. Most of them are little 2 points, but like,
still.
there were deer everywhere. It also made it that much harder to try and get close to this big one when there's that many eyeballs in such a little space.
And this is on an area and in a unit that a few years ago, prior to this, nothing. Yeah.
Yep.
So wild that it changes like that,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it was crazy. And there were probably, I mean, I've been talking about 3 or 4 deer mainly, but there were 6 or 7 that were like good framed bucks that we probably would have been super happy with.
Right.
I would have been super happy with on the archery. So.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Anyway, Campbell and I go up and don't see the deer. And so I'm like, oh man, I have 5 days on this early rifle before my cousins are up here.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do. As well as there's a long break, I think, maybe not a super long break. There's like a week break in between the two.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, I think the early one ended like on the 11th and the late one started on like the 18th or something like that.
I don't know. It just felt like a long break, and more of the deer were starting to move out around this time.
Yeah.
In fact, when my cousins went back up to hunt, the only deer that was still in there was Lucky 7 and a couple 2 points.
Wow. Did they shoot Lucky 7?
Yeah, they did. Which awesome. That was the deer I wanted my wife to kill, actually, but she ended up getting a better buck.
I was gonna say she got a nice buck too, so can't complain. Yeah.
So anyway, I go up the next day and I'm by myself at this point. Like, most people can't take off all week during the week to go hunt someone else's tag. And I sit down and just start glassing. And I looked in the same spot that he was during that one morning on the muzzleloader. And he's doing almost the exact same thing, feeding over this ridge. And I'm like freaking out because I have a rifle now.
Right. Yeah, it's go time now.
It's go time. And I'm all by myself, but at this point I was 600 yards away, and mind you, 3 days earlier I'd shot low on an elk at 4.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there like, I don't want to shoot this far. So I ran over and I got a lot closer. I was at 220, 230 from where I thought he was going to be, but I was kind of sitting on top of the ridge waiting for him to feed across. And I sat there for 45 minutes and nothing, like zero movement, zero action. And I was just like, he's gone. Like every other time I've seen him, he's fed into thick stuff, and I've never seen him again that day. And so I'm like feeling super discouraged. This morning had already, like, the excitement from seeing him was great. It had already been not a great morning. It was one of those, I woke up and was super tired and didn't want to get out of bed. And once I finally convinced myself to get up, I got stuck behind a school bus. And so I was like 15 minutes late to where I wanted to be. And I was just like, super frustrated in the morning, go to see him, end up not getting an opportunity, kind of being like, and then moving back off to go home. What my plan was, I was like, I haven't seen him. I'm going to go home.
Yeah. Back out of there so you don't booger him out of there completely.
I walk back over to where I'd left my spotter where I first saw him, and I turn around and I look, and I just look. I'm like, I'll look one more time, and I just see antlers sticking out of the bush,
No
right, or
way.
like real close to where I saw him, and I was like, he's still there.
He's
Like, I
still
know
right where you
exactly
left
where
him.
he's at.
Oh,
So I kind of take a moment. I pause. I study the terrain. I find this little knoll that's 300 yards closer than where I currently am, but isn't as close as I thought I wanted to be, and doesn't really, I mean, there's not a ton of cover to get there.
right.
So I'm kind of going to have to be really sneaky, but I'm like, I'm just going to chance it because it's very likely that I could never see this deer again after today, even whether I shoot at him or not.
Let's say with everything moving around, like he could move out of there in a second,
Yep.
and be gone.
And a lot of the other bigger bucks had.
Yeah.
Like I just hadn't been seeing them. And so I sneak over to this point. I set my gun up like I could drop down and shoot. And I have my spotting scope with me this time because I'm like, if I see it, I want to get it on video to see if I see where I hit him and how I hit him. So I set my gun down, get it all set up. I'm trying to get my spotting scope, and in my peripheral vision, I see him stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm freaking out right now because I was like, I'm going to have time. I'll set this up. I'll get this on him. I'll relax. And then I'll just be sitting there waiting for him to stand up. But he was already up. And so I'm freaking out. I'm like, do I leave the spotter to go jump on my rifle and get the shot?
You get that guy on the ground.
and that's what you think I do, but I didn't. I took the extra 3 seconds to get my spotter set up. I mean, he wasn't running. He just was up feeding. So I get my spotter set up on him. I drop down on my rifle and take the shot. And I mean, I was pretty excited. I will probably, if I send you the video of the kill shot, and if you want to post it, I will bleep some parts out that happened after I shot, but I was very excited. I shot a little high, and so I kind of was right above the vitals and hit him like essentially low spine and just dropped it.
Oh, so that's a great shot. Honestly, that'll kill him.
So he just dropped, and then I text my brother. Well, I text my wife. She's a school teacher, so I didn't call her immediately. I didn't want to interrupt class. I'd like to preface by saying that. I text my brother, and he calls me, and he's like, I'll be there in an hour. Like, I'm on my way. And I'm like super pumped out of my mind. I haven't even been over to the deer. And I look up, and unfortunately, because of where I hit him, he was still trying to move. So he was up on his front.
So he saw his front legs
like,
going.
I got to call you back. Because
Yeah.
it hit him. He dropped behind a bush, and then I hadn't seen him for a second. So I like throw my phone down and put another shot in him to put him down quickly.
Yeah.
But then I call my brother back, and he's like, I'll be there in an hour. Like, let's go. And he's like, go get some pictures. And I just spent the next hour. I hardly got any pictures. I spent the next hour just sitting on the hill looking at this deer and like calling friends and family and being so excited. and I knew he was a big deer, but I didn't think he was as big as he was.
Yeah. When you walked up to him, did you realize how big he was, or did it take you a little bit to kind of just like realize like, okay, this is a big buck?
Well, I knew he was big. Like I knew by far he was bigger than the two behind me. But one thing that was really deceiving is how big his body was. It kind of like hid some antler size. And with everybody kind of telling me, hey, he's a 180 buck, like again, super happy. I wouldn't have hesitated if he was a 180 buck. But like it just didn't do it justice. And then when I walked up, and I think this is, I guess I should backtrack a little bit. One other thing is like, I have people telling me he's a 180 buck. I'm sending videos to my dad and my brother, and they're like, he's a good buck. He's just not like huge. And all they were seeing were videos. They hadn't ever seen the deer in person. And I'll send him to my dad, and my dad's like, he looks willowy, just because of I know that was kind of my reaction too. He looks willowy, but I think the piece that made him look willowy is like his tines are so long.
Yeah.
His tines are so long. And so like this part, like doesn't look super thick compared to the 4.5 inch piece that's down here.
Until you put your hand on that, like right there, you put your hand on up there. That's not willowy. That's the base of a lot of deer right there.
Right. But you can't tell that from the videos.
Oh, I guess that's true. I guess I get that. Still though.
So, and that's all they'd seen. So all they'd seen was videos. And I mean, I'm just pumped out of my mind looking at the deer.
Oh man. Say he's so heavy everywhere. I love the brow tines on him. Everything, man. Like he's the whole package. Everything that you want in a deer.
Yeah.
Golly.
No, 100%. So I just sat there and was super ecstatic. And then my brother showed up with his side-by-side and I drug him. We took a bunch of pictures and then I drug him. I'm not satisfied with the pictures. I wish they were a little better. Our lighting wasn't great. But I drug him.
I was going to tell you, you need to hire me as your photographer when you're doing.
I should have. Because we drug him like 100 yards to the bottom of the hill through a hole in the bed of the side-by-side.
No way.
Like, got him out, which was great.
That's amazing.
And then we went to my dad's work because he couldn't get off work, and we like taped it out at my dad's job. So all of his coworkers were like walking in. He works for a city, so we kind of like hung it up and then just taped it down.
What did he say when he first saw it? What did your dad say when he first saw it?
I think he was just amazed because they'd never seen anything close. I mean, the next biggest deer was like the one behind me. Oh, and so I think he was just amazed. Like he's like, that's
a different class. It's a different. That's the thing, is that's like a different class of deer. You know, like they're like, don't get me wrong, those bucks you have back there. Again, I cannot believe you didn't shoulder mount those 2 bucks behind you because they're that amazing. But yeah, he's in a different class of deer.
I'll send you a picture I took. So I took this deer and put him next to the deer that I just held up. He fits inside.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Fits inside. Tine length isn't as long. Like it's just mind blowing.
Yeah.
So we took it to his work and all of his coworkers are like, this is what you get all the time. And my dad's like, no,
this is unique.
We skin it out and I'm pumped out of my mind. Like just so ecstatic.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, over the next couple of days, and I think this is an important part of the story too. First of all, I'm like showing anybody and everybody that'll give me the time of day. I still am. My wife gets annoyed with me. She's like, really? You're still talking about that deer? And I'm like, yeah, all the time.
The rest of your life, dude, that'll be the story. Again, that's why it's so cool to have him on your wall. Is like anybody that walks in, again, you're going to see these other deer and you're like, oh, those are amazing deer.
Yep.
But then you're going to see him, you're like, oh, he's different. Yeah, tell me about that guy. Yeah, and you're going to be so ecstatic to tell the story.
So we took him. I took him to a buddy's house that day. Actually, was the first thing I did. I was like, "Hey, can you help me score this?" And this is really where like the score, or like I really found out the score because I didn't know. I hadn't taped him until this point. This was this evening. I went over to this buddy's house, and he was more into scoring than I was, and we kind of write everything down. And I don't know anything about the early numbers. So like as he's starting to go, I'm like, oh yeah, he's like 29 and a quarter, like the greatest spread, and like almost 30 inches wide, I guess.
Yeah.
He measures the main beams and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And we get all the way down and finally we start adding things up. And this is where it kind of became real. So like, this is the first score sheet. His right antler, according to this guy's measurement, was like 89 and 6/8 or something like that. And so I'm like, oh,
that 90 mark.
The left was 84 and 7/8. Wow. And so, I mean, I was like, oh, dang, he's big. And then you add in like the spread credit and we just add the math up and it was like 199 and an 8.
Oh,
just holy smokes.
Yeah. Then it gets real. When you measure one side and it's 90, basically 90 inches, that you got something special. Like that's, I mean, that tells you immediately like, okay, yep, this is the real deal.
Yep, 100%. And then I took him to the taxidermist just because I wanted to make sure I didn't mess anything up on the cape. So we actually caped way too much. We essentially caped from like the back knees all the way forward. He had so much hide. You almost could have done a full body mount on my deer.
I do that. If I don't have to pack it out a long ways, every single deer that I cape out to be mounted. In fact, we did one in Colorado. I did the same thing. I go clear back to the back. I'd rather give him more than not enough.
Yeah. So I took that to him and I actually left the head still attached. So we caped it here and then I left it and I was like, do this for me, please. Because I don't want to mess it up. And I want you to have whatever you need to make it usable. And so he he caped the head for me, which I was
Nice.
really grateful for, and showed me how to do it. And then I asked him to score it, and I was like, he's probably done this a lot more than nothing against my other buddy. I'm super glad to talk to him, but he's probably done this a lot more. So he tapes it, and he told me before, because I called him, I was like, hey, I have like 190-inch deer that I want to bring over. And he's like, I always get so worried when people tell me how big a deer is.
Yeah.
He's like, they come over and he's like, I look at them, and he said, especially with how people double measure a point. Mm-hmm. So they'll double measure the 6th point instead of the main. So it'll be like, he's pushing 380, and he's like, he's 320.
Yeah, exactly.
Even close.
People do it with a deer all the time too. That happens with a deer a lot.
Yep. So I told him that, and he's like, oh boy. And then I roll up, and he's like, yeah, that's a nice buck. And he starts looking at it. And because of the way it curves, it's just so hard to tell. And then on this side, the gap in between here isn't very big. And so he's like, it just looks weird. And then he said, I think it was this point is a little short. And he's like, I just don't know if you're going to hit like quite right there. And he told me that up front. And then as soon as he tapes that first main beam, he's like, oh, you got it.
You're good.
Which I thought was awesome.
Yeah. Kind of give you a perspective, or gave him perspective. Once he got that main beam measurement, he's like, oh yeah, this is going to be okay.
Yeah. So he measured the main beams at 25 3/8 and 25 2/8.
Good night. Really? Holy moly.
But those you can't tell because it curves so much.
Yeah, those are very deceiving.
Looking at the deer, you can't tell that because there's so much inward curve from where it is. And then the only other part that I always tell people is when he measures right here. He takes it, and it's 5 2/8 inches around, and he's like, holy smoke.
That's the benefit of those being so close together, is it gives you more mass right there. It gives you a little bit of extra measurement there.
So
anyway. What were the G2s? What did he measure those out at?
G2s, I kind of guessed on his. He just had me throw everything into a calculator. So these are my guesses on what he said. I think he had 13 2/8 on one side, and
oh man, I would have said 15.
11 1/8.
Really?
I may have gotten those backward on his. I may have switched the G2s and the G3s when I was just writing them in. Because I have 13 and then 18 on the.
Okay, 18 seems more where they would be at.
18, that's the one I wrote down wrong on his. So 18 on the other two.
Wow, that's crazy. That is such a big deer. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So,
congratulations, man. I can't tell you that. I know I text you a billion times about that, but man, you shot the deer of a lifetime. You really did.
I really did, and I'm very fortunate for that experience, which I'm extremely grateful. And I have loved every second of it. I love looking at the antlers every day, and I love telling the story. There is a part of me that has felt kind of empty inside and kind of sad because I haven't been able to chase him every day. And I went from going after this deer every night, and I'm glad the story closed the way it did. But there's part of me that's like, this deer is magnificent.
Yeah.
Super beautiful. And he's not out there anymore. He's just, again, I'm very glad, and that way overwhelms the other piece of it. But every now and then I'll just catch myself that's okay.
Yeah, it is. I get that feeling of, you don't get to keep pursuing him. But the cool thing about it is you have him. Someone was going to have him eventually anyways, and it's awesome that it's you. And now, Braden, now you can. I mean, you've got some great deer on the wall now, and you have an absolute trophy on the wall, and now it's you can easily pass the Lucky Sevens of this world. You can easily pass those Mr. Krabs of the world, because you do have those on your wall, and your pursuit kind of changes. You're a young guy. To be able to do that at your age, I think is pretty unique. So I think it's going to be fun. It's just going to be a different kind of fun and a different kind of pursuit now.
Yeah. I totally agree. It's
That's
going to
awesome.
turn into what my dad's pursuit turned in, and he hasn't had a tag in like 15 years just because he's like, there hasn't been anything that got him excited.
Exactly. That's exactly it, which is okay.
Well, now maybe that'll change.
Yeah, now he sees that. He's like, wait a second. I need to get some more tags, especially in a unit that he can get a tag.
Right. Seriously. So.
Really quick, though, I want to know about your wife's deer. Same area, same, I mean, because that was a solid buck.
Same unit. What happened was we went up that morning and I froze her to death. We were sitting on
poor
the
girl.
coldest, windiest ridge. And like, I mean, we were probably out there for only an hour and she's like, I want to go home. I'm like, it's your hunt. Like, I don't have a tag anymore. We can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And so we went home. All we'd seen was 2 points. And then my cousins went and shot Lucky 7. And I was like, that was the deer I really wanted you to kill. So I'm like, I don't know what to do now. I ended up thinking, I was like, I should just call one. My uncle kind of lives closer to town and he has some deer every year that feed down. And all we'd heard is they're really small things, like nothing kind of feeding down like clockwork. It wasn't as much hunting. It was more like going and picking the one she wanted. Yeah. And that's okay. That's okay. I think she was very excited about it. And after, I mean, she spent 2 months with me on the hill.
Right.
So and like once the deer hunt started, it was getting cold. Mm-hmm. So she even less wanted to go out and do it. And anyway, we went and sat where these deer came down and he's like, yeah, my uncle told us, he's like, I've seen in like a 3-point about like this. And she's like, I'm not going to shoot that. Like, there's no way. And I'm like, it's up to you, like whatever you want. And we waited and waited. And sure enough, we see movement in the bushes and 2 bucks walk out and she's like, we see the one on the right first. And she's like, she's like, that one's not quite there for me. It was kind of a tall, narrow, barely a 4-point. Mm-hmm. And like super narrow, more narrow. The deer she shot isn't super wide, like very good. That's very tall.
Yeah, way tall. Really tall.
Kind of narrow. And that was my first thought, was he was narrow when he walked out, but he also has a cheater and she got excited. And
he's got a cheater.
Like, take it.
You got to shoot him if you you got to shoot a cheater buck.
Yeah, and she was excited. Like it was her biggest deer. So it came out. She was excited. I made her wait for probably an extra 60 seconds because I was like, oh, let me get the spotter on him. He's gonna come out here, and he doesn't even care that we're here. So like, you take your time, get a good rest. And that's exactly what she did. And she made a great shot.
How far was the shot?
Like 100 yards.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Yeah, this is an awesome pic that you have of her holding. I'm just looking at these pictures again that you sent me, and yeah, that's such a stud buck. He's not that narrow though. I mean, I think he looks more narrow because he's so dang tall. You know,
he's super tall, and I think that's what threw me off as well. I joke about this, but I'm spoiled out of my mind in the deer I got. So I keep going back, and that's what I've been hunting and comparing other deer to all year. So I'm like, oh, he's not that.
Oh yeah, but I mean, for anybody else, like that's an amazing deer. It'd be hard for me not to pull the trigger on that deer right there. Like plus he's got a cheater. I mean, you got to shoot if he's got a cheater.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I got a text.
Man.
1 second. I got to text a group.
Oh, you're good.
I'm going to be late to another meeting. But.
Oh, are you? Oh, shoot, man. I feel bad.
It's not as important.
Okay. Well, we probably better get moving on and talking about, because you guys have had a lot of really cool things come out with Dark Energy just recently, and a little bit on a different kind of perspective for you guys, because a lot of it's been backcountry, lighter weight type stuff. Not that this stuff is heavy, but just kind of more of a backcountry approach. Yeah. I feel like, and with the new stuff that comes out, and I'll let you tell the listeners about it. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it on social media. You guys do a great job of your social media posts. I'm sure most people have seen it, and you kind of teased it on our last podcast. So I think, everybody kind of not knew, but they knew something cool was coming. So talk to us about the new Poseidon XL and all the cool, and the new solar panel and everything. Yeah,
I can dive in. I have it all behind me.
Let's see it. Yeah, let's see it.
I'll do a quick breakdown of all of it. I'll bring it a little closer because I can sit it on my lap. And you're right. Like this, we shifted from more backcountry stuff you would be willing to carry as one person, to most people are not carrying this on their back. If you have horses, maybe. Which is why we call it more of a base camp setup. Because like this battery is the Poseidon XL. It's while it is a little bit bigger, it's still small enough to fly with, which is like a big key for people. So you can take this on a plane and it can charge your laptop is like the main thing it's built for. It has 100-watt input and output port USB-C. So like you can fast charge your laptop. You can run it without having to worry about it. It's going to give you enough battery for that, which again, absolutely amazing. Absolutely love it. It's still waterproof. It's still super tough and durable.
Still temperature, like it's still going to handle the cold. It's going to handle the heat. I mean, that's been a big thing with like my original. I'm over here charging my phone right now, by the way, off my Poseidon. Perfect. But you know, that's one thing I've loved about it is because it's you know, the cold really it'll drain an Amazon battery pack in no time, whereas the Poseidon I don't have that. So same kind of reliability with that.
Roughly same build, same engineering behind it.
Okay.
A couple things that make ours unique, because to be frank, it is a little heavier than most 100-watt-hour batteries that are out there. Is we have a dedicated solar port.
Yes.
And what this means is I can then take this solar panel, our 56-watt panel, I can plug this into our dedicated solar port, and I can use the 100-watt output here to run a Starlink Mini or charge my laptop. And the battery charges fast enough that you have a couple extra hours of power, but you don't need to like fully recharge this in between using it. You can just run it.
Run it straight.
Like on a sunny day, you can set this and the solar panel up, and you could run Starlink all day.
That's amazing.
0 issues, which is.
The solar panel is a 56-watt. Is that right?
It is. Okay. They are also chainable. So I can take this 56-watt panel and I can connect up to 3 of them, which is super cool. Way more than you'll need for any of our current batteries.
Yeah.
But it's great. It has a XT60 is what the cords are, and it's a male and female, so they just plug into each other to chain.
I did not realize that you could chain them together. So you can put up to 3 of them together, you said?
Yeah. So it's like 160 something watts.
Oh, dude, you could run. Yeah, you could run a Starlink and your laptop, and I mean, so much off of that thing. Holy smokes! What's the weight? What's the weight of the Poseidon XL?
The Poseidon XL is right around 2.5 pounds.
So that's still not that bad, honestly.
You,
for that much power.
you might want to carry the Poseidon XL. You probably wouldn't want to carry the solar panel, and and like working in working together is where they're probably the best.
Yeah.
If you're using the Poseidon XL to charge a phone, you're going to get a whole bunch of phone charges, right?
Yeah.
Like 10, 12, whatever. So you could be gone
a whole week's
time.
worth.
A whole camp could use that and you'd be just fine. If you wanted to run it more like a Starlink or a laptop or whatever, then having the solar panel would be great. That being said, if I'm going somewhere where I'm willing to carry this stuff, I'm willing to carry a laptop and a Starlink, I'm usually willing to carry this.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm
100%.
using a vehicle or horses or whatever.
Right.
So
that's
kind of the idea there.
I've kind of put it like as it came out, and I've kind of thought about it, like thinking of like applications for me and the kind of hunting I do. So like in Colorado, we do a llama hunt, or we have done a llama hunt in the past where we take llamas in, they carry in all of our camp. Perfect for that hunt because we're in there for a week or more. And that way I could take the solar panel and the Poseidon XL. It's going to charge everything forever. And I have a lot of crap that I have to take with me because I do create content, but that's going to do perfect for me. I've also thought like we didn't get to go on our moose hunt this year. We're going to go on our moose hunt in Alaska next year, but we take ATVs in on that hunt. Like that's a perfect setup for that kind of hunt. At least that's how I envisioned it.
Definitely. And I would agree completely. That's why we call it more of a base camp thing, because you're not hiking in everything on your back.
Right.
I consider that more of a spike camp, where this, like ATVs or llamas or horses or a boat, like as long as I'm close to one of those, I'd probably throw one of those in.
Yeah. Man, how many milliamps is the Poseidon XL? Is it 28,000?
27.
27,000. Yeah, so it is right at that threshold then for flying. You can fly with it and not get in trouble.
Yep.
Oh man, that is a
I mean,
beautiful thing.
that's what it was designed for. If you're looking for something with more power, we just as another teaser, we have more coming next year.
Are you kidding? How
So
much more? I mean, I'm sure you can't tell me a lot, but like significantly more power or
significantly, you're going to be able to back up. You could run a camper off of it. You can you can use it as a backup if your power goes out to run your fridge, your freezer. So I'll just leave that teaser there. There's significantly more power coming to dark energy early next year.
Same kind of durability, same kind of like. I mean, is it going to have that?
Should the issue you're going to start running into is they're heavy.
Yeah.
So like our next battery that's coming out is like 75 pounds.
Yeah.
And so like
that's
yes, it will be more durable than what's out there. That being said, I can only do so much when it's 80 pounds.
Right. But that's been kind of the issue with those. I can't remember what they call those big power, not a generator.
They usually call them like solar generators.
Yeah, solar generator. Yeah.
And ours definitely has some extra protections. Like I don't know how much I can share, but one thing I will share is we specially engineered all of the vents for the cooling system to keep like bugs, dirt, and water out.
Gotcha.
But allow air in. And so we have a custom system that allows the air still to flow through, but all of those things it will keep out. So you can ideally leave this out in weather and not even have to worry about it.
That's wild. That is so wild on a battery. That I'm excited to see that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited about the XL too, because for me, I mean, I can see an application as well for a bigger battery, more for like emergency type of stuff. But for me, like the Poseidon XL really kind of fits a niche that I haven't been able to fill with a lot of the hunts that I've done. So what I'm doing is I'm packing in a couple Poseidon Pros, a couple Nanos, whatever every power bank I have, just to make sure that I've got the power. And so to be able to have that XL, one, it's going to charge pretty much everything that I have several times, even without having the solar panel attached to it, but then add that solar panel to it. Like that's so real quick question with the solar panel. It doesn't have a USB-C port. You can't plug directly. Oh, it does.
It does. Yeah. So the 56 watt, our next panel that we're coming out with will not.
Okay.
But under here, you have the cable, but you also have a
the
USB-A and USB-C port.
Okay. So the normal port that's on the 18 and the 8, is that what it is?
Yeah, it actually has slightly a higher output than that. So like the USB-C is a 35 watt and the USB-A is an 18 watt. So you can charge a little bit faster, but to get the maximum amount out of this panel, you'll want to use the dedicated solar
65
cable.
watt. Okay. Gotcha. And you guys are doing a bundle deal right now with everything, right? So
Yes,
you can get the XL.
First of all, I would like to say all of our bundles are usually 10% off anyway. So if you want to get an entire power setup without thinking about it, bundle deal's the way to go.
Yeah.
For the launch, we're doing an extra bundle, like a pre-sale.
Yeah.
With, everything. So you get the Poseidon XL, you get the 56 watt solar panel, you get, two items I haven't talked about. We have a 65 watt wall adapter. So like you're able to fast charge your computers from there. You have 2 USB-C ports and a USB-A port. So you can charge multiple things. It's got folding prongs. So like great for travel. And you're under 2 hours to fully charge a Poseidon XL.
Wow. So dang.
That's what we built it for, is to charge that as well as laptops. We also have this is the accessory kit for the 56 watt panel. It actually does way more than that. So it's a fully like waterproof bag, so you can keep electronics in there.
Put my laptop in there.
I wouldn't dunk it all the way because the zipper isn't like fully waterproof, but technically you can. It has a compartment for your panel where it like seat belts in. You have 2 zippered pockets that fit a Poseidon XL and a couple Poseidon Pros in here. Which, like, that's what it's designed for. But I mean, if you just want to throw other electronics in a waterproof bag,
throw your iPad in there. That's what I usually take when I'm out, like in hunting. I'll take my iPad with me. That way, it's just easy. It's lighter weight than a laptop. But yeah, I could throw it in there and keep it nice and dry.
Yep. So all of that is included in the bundle. Right now, you actually get the 2 accessory items. We don't even have those in the pricing for it. And
Oh,
so
wow.
you're essentially getting the Poseidon XL and the panel for like more off than we should. It's like 25% off on a brand new
Whoa.
product. This
Wow.
is, I don't know how soon you're posting this, but this is through December 7th is when we're going to be cutting that off. Or alternatively, when we sell out, because we have less than 100 of these left.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
hopefully it is around by the time you get this posted. If
So
not,
I'm going to post this
we
tomorrow. Hopefully, if I can get the editing done and whatnot, I'm hoping I can post this tomorrow. So this should give everybody plenty of time to get you guys sold out.
yes, I would go get one of these fast. If you want one before Christmas, we will have more coming late January, but we just sold out faster than we thought we would.
So can people compound discounts with this? Can they get that discount and then they use the Ehuntr code and compound that discount, or will that null and void that discount?
I'm not 100% sure. It's
Okay.
possible. I don't remember if it's set up that way. If you do,
Somebody try it and tell me.
If you do, I'm not listening and I'm not paying attention because technically it's my job to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Oh, dang.
I mean,
all right.
If the discount still works, I'm not going to police anybody on it. So
well, earmuffs, Braden, earmuffs. Don't listen to this, but guys, try that out. Let me know if it works because I'd be very interested to see if that works. Take advantage of that if it does. That is so awesome, man. I'm super stoked about this. I really am. You know what's funny? Like as silly as it is, that 65 watt adapter that I'm almost as excited about that as I am anything else. So I do a lot of travel. I travel. Well, I had to reschedule this podcast because of that. I travel a lot for work, and well, one, I have to take a bunch of the blocks, which I actually don't have. Oh, I do. I have a generic one here. A bunch of blocks with me to plug into. That one has a USB-A and 2 USB-C. Is that what it has on it?
2 USB-C and a USB-A.
Yeah, like to be able to just take one of these and be able to charge everything that I take when I'm traveling for work I'm super stoked about that. And the 65 watt is amazing.
And I'm gonna throw one more thing at you. I got to run and grab it. It's in the other room.
Do it.
So I'll be right back.
Okay.
Just as we're talking about it, and I think some of the other wall adapters are awesome. We have a 20 watt. That's a much smaller version of this.
I've got that one.
If you need a quick little travel adapter, it's great. The other one I wanted to talk about is our international adapter. So it's bigger. I mean, this is the 2 next to each other. It works in like 70 countries. So you have all of your prongs that come out.
What?
But my favorite part is you can plug in on this side. So like I can be in France or wherever, and I can still plug in my adapter here and get all of the power from there. But I also have 5 ports on the bottom.
What the world?
So,
and how many watts is that?
It depends. It's definitely not as high. The front one is a 35 watt.
Okay.
You have another 35 watt USB-C and a 15 watt and then 3 12 watt USB-A. So if you're charging a lot overnight, perfect for that.
Dude, I wish I would have had that when I went to New Zealand. I've got to have one when I go to Argentina in a few months. Like I did not know you even had that.
Yep. Apparently we need to market it better because they're absolutely incredible.
I need to pay attention more is probably what it is. That's amazing. So you've had that out for a while. That's not new?
Yeah, it's been out for like a year and a half now.
Shoot, dang. I wish that would have saved me so much heartache. So when we went to New Zealand, we bought a cheap one off of Amazon and it had all these different little attachments for all the different countries that you go to, but they didn't connect very good. And so you like almost had to in fact, I think one of the places we stayed, we taped it to the wall to get it to hold in place so that we could charge everything. So oh man, that would have been so much nicer.
Great. It's all in one.
Okay.
So they're just, anyway, that's a cool item that I thought I would mention on here because it's our wall adapters are great. If you're not away a ton, I would probably get one of those before any of our batteries, but I also love our batteries. So
what's just for my listeners, what's the pricing on the international one? What's the pricing on the 65 watt and the 20 watt? Do you know off the top of your head?
Right now they're all, I think they're even 35% off on our website.
Are they really? Gosh dang it. All right,
our Black Friday sale is 35% off plus free shipping. So I would get that now. The 20 watt, my issue is I know what they are, their usual prices. The 65 watt is $45.99 right now. It's usually $59.99. The 20 watt is $12.99, usually $19.99.
Jeez.
So like if you need a new wall adapter, I'd go get one now.
Yeah.
International is usually 40, it's 26.
Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to get one of those today, actually, before I forget. I got to have that for Argentina. That's something I've got to have. Oh my goodness.
Awesome new products. If you're bored, some of our accessory items are actually my favorite items. So the wall adapters we just mentioned, we have a little plasma lighter. I always have one in my bag. It's a windproof, waterproof lighter. I don't have one with me here, but it also has a flashlight on the other end. It's like relatively bright for a lightweight flashlight. It's rechargeable, so you don't have to worry about that. Like just an overall awesome product. I always have one in my bag. We have paracord wrapped USB-C cables that are super, and then our desk stands are actually really cool too, and they're on a killer deal. I think they're even on like a clearance, so they're like 60% off almost.
Goodness gracious.
Just MagSafe, set them on your desk, super easy to use. But
yeah,
lots of cool things in there. Molly waterproof pouch, keep electronics like safe. So cool items, low price point. So if you want to try something dark energy out, I would go check those out. Again, 35% off on accessories, up to 35% off the entire site. Bundles, you're going to get a better deal, and then free shipping through the end of our Black Friday sale. So
dang, dude. Yeah, you guys got to go check out the accessory section on their website. There's a lot of cool. That's what's funny is I get on the website, I'm always looking at like the batteries. Like that's kind of what, well, the batteries and the solar kind of what captures my attention. I haven't really, just be honest, haven't spent a lot of time in the accessory section. I'm kind of mad at myself right now for not having a lot of this stuff on hand.
That's okay. We don't do a great job of marketing them.
Yes, you do. You do a great job of marketing everything.
We're getting better.
It's funny. You and I, our first conversation at TAC was talking about the plasma lighter because I had a different brand that doesn't have a flashlight attached to it, and you're like, dude, you got to get the plasma lighter. So you do a good job talking about that. I still need to get one. I'll get one, but
Just a heads up, we do have some really cool accessory items coming next year too. And maybe we can get on and talk about those, but there's a few that like I'm more excited about them. I shouldn't admit this. Hey, Garrett, if you're listening, turn your ears off. I'm more excited about them than I was about this.
Really?
Yep. Because I think they're items that I am going to use all the time. And I love this battery and I use it for travel, and I've gotten to test it for probably a couple months now, but like,
wow,
I am so excited about the new accessory items that are coming out. So we also are going to have some cool hats and things too. So in fact, if you come to Hunt Expo and come say hi and check out my deer, if it's there, hopefully it's there.
Yeah.
And mention that you listen to this podcast, I will give you free hats. So
you're the man.
If anybody listens all the way through, and like our hats are going to be really cool. I'm very excited.
Oh man, there you go, guys! Free hat. And there's a lot of my listeners. Most of my listeners go to the expo. Because a lot of my audience is from Utah, and I love the expo because a lot of people I'll get there and like, oh yeah, you're tearing with Ehuntr, like I listen to your podcast, and so it's kind of fun. So that's awesome, man. That's cool of you to do that. Give everybody a free hat. You actually guys have a lot of really good merch already on the website. I was looking at that. I've been actually looking at that a lot lately. So you guys make sure you check out the merch. They got really nice stuff.
Some cool shirts and more coming, hopefully. I've been focused on hats, so we haven't had a hat ever, and it's been driving me crazy.
Yeah, me too.
Every single day. So.
Me too. We need some good dark energy hats.
I'll send you a sneak peek off the podcast.
Sweet. I like it. Well, I want to talk to you a little bit more about some of those releases coming up and whatnot. Maybe we can do, a little bit earlier on kind of a thing. So we'll chat more about that.
We can do that. Thank
Cool,
you.
man. Well, hey, Braden, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, sharing your story. I know my listeners are going to love that story of your deer, your elk, just the year that you had, man. Congrats. Like I know that took a lot of work and a lot of effort, and I'm sure your wife is like, yeah, we're done with that for a little while, but kudos to you, man.
She's stoked, and I told her I'm going to start hunting ducks. So.
You're as bad as I am. I'm out hunting coyotes now. I switched from deer to coyotes, and that's what I'm doing now. So
it's awesome. Yeah, I just love getting out, and there was a lot of up and down still. So hopefully people took that out, but it wasn't all easy. I mean, I had a breakdown the day before my hunt started. So
busted your bow, had a brand new bow that you were shooting. I mean, it doesn't get any crazier than that.
Yeah, well, we'll be much better prepared for next year.
But man, it's a story. That's what's so awesome about it. My buddy Chad and I were talking about this. Like every hunting adventure, like a lot of people are like, oh, how can you keep hunting? Like you can only kill so many deer, you only kill so many elk. But every single animal you take, like you look at those animals on your wall, I look at the animals on my wall, like every single one of those has a different story to them, and that's what I love about it. It's just that's what life's about, is experiencing those different experiences. And having those stories to tell your kids, your grandkids, your friends. It's just, to me, that's what life's about.
So. I'm right there with you. That's why I started hunting. That's why I know I shot my deer when I was by myself, but like I had family members around me within an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You share it with your family, you share it with your friends, you share it with me. Like that. I was so stoked when you started sending me those pictures. I'm like, man, that is so amazing. Like as if I shot it myself. I'm just so you're just so excited for people that get to do that and have fun. I know the emotions that you're going through. I know exactly what that feels like, and it's so dang cool. I love it. And companies like Dark Energy allow us to do those kind of things.
Yes, 100%.
Shoot, well, Braden, I'll let you go, but man, sure appreciate you helping with the podcast and just being a support of me, and appreciate your partnership. And man, I look forward to the future. I'm excited to talk more about stuff coming out too.
Me too. Well, I'm sure we'll see you around, and if you ever need a guest, let me know.
Oh, dude, always. Cool, man. Cool. All right, we'll chat with you later.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.